forward to this race in New York, Curtis, where we are going to have a scratch of the horse that we just saw win at Parks. Mailata. Don't think he's going to come on the quick day wheelback. So this is going to be, I believe, a field of 4.
So, yes, you can complain and say, oh, it's a field of 4. Well, that's not a great race. But look at who's in there. I mean, we'll start with Balboa. He gets out of the Bob Baffert barn where he's not part of the A team in the Grade 1 races out here. Immediately, stakes winner for Brittany Russell, third in the Remsen behind Paladin, Renegade, 2 horses with huge futures. And we go back to the Remsen Stakes here. He set the pace as well. He did not have an easy time of it up front with Ricardo Santana Jr. aboard. 29-1, almost 30-1. Another son of Not This Time that, all right, maybe a mile and an eighth was too far for this horse. But you can't tell me this horse on the cutback and distance with the class that he's shown, the pedigree that he has, he's not going to be a strong contender in the Jerome Stakes.
And looks like a great chance for Brittany Russell to have potentially her first Kentucky Derby start. That was a live race. Those top 2 are well regarded. And Not This Time, the hot sire with that good effort in third. Essential Quality, you know, he was such a precocious horse who kept the mantle. He was undefeated going to the Kentucky Derby. And Essential Quality, going to give you my world here. In this race as one of the favorites. But also on the rail, there's Enforced Agenda. We know St. Elias very well for all their top horses over the years. Weaver and Pratt coming off a 1-mile score as an upsetter on debut.
It's a nice 74 buyer, and you look at this. I remember this race because there were a lot of very highly regarded, well-bred horses. The 3rd place finisher, Otino, half sibling to Gunrunner. The 4th place finisher, Golfi, full sibling to Admiral Dennis. So horses with a lot of good pedigrees. And Enforced Agenda on debut with the Hall of Famer Javier Castellano aboard. Not only gets the win, but I like that he dealt with this 8 horse. He dealt with the runner-up, Felonious, and still was able to put him away late. Felonious had a start under his belt going into this. Enforced Agenda prevailed.
And that is a look here at this field coming up. We talk about turning the new year as we go to My World in this lineup, coming off the Nashua win, and did this at 3-1. Wasn't the favorite in the race, but this Essential Quality went for big money at Keeneland.
That always catches my attention, too. The horse sold for 7 times the stud fee as a yearling, and we know with those Essential Qualities, you give them more distance, they'll get better and better. I know as far as his stats from a 2-year-old sire perspective, he hasn't been red hot. He's 12% with his first-timers, 14% overall with 2-year-olds. But you look as the distances get longer, that's when they will prevail. And a very striking son of Essential Quality picking up the win in the Nashua.
Past the finish there and looking for back-to-back stakes wins. In terms of the earners this year in 2025, this is a really amazing graphic. Pretty much gives you all the details that you need to know. And Brad Cox, you think he had a good year this season? That was with some bad luck with Tapan Street and Disco Time coming off the Derby Trail. And then look at his crop for next year for the 3-year-olds.
I mean, to be leading in earnings with half the starters of the runner-up there, Steve Asmussen, a 26% win rate, yeah, I think it's going to be hard to make a case against Brad Cox for the Eclipse Award. But we still got a little while to find out who the finalists will be.
A great list there. And a look at the Jerome Stakes. I mentioned how we're turning into the new year. It's going to be early in January. Well, when we turn into the new century, year 2000, the Jerome gave us Fusaichi Pegasus, the last winner of the stakes to win the Kentucky Derby.
And you also have, don't forget, Freedom's Echo, a son of Independence Hall. What did Independence Hall do in his first start as a 3-year-old? Oh, he won the Jerome Stakes by 4 lengths. So a horse with didn't quite progress the way I think people were hoping after this. But Freedom's Echo, yes, it was a maiden claiming win at Parks, but he's here, and he was not in the race at Parks where Mailata was a winner. I think it's a key that Guadalupe Preciado thinks there might be a little bit more left in the tank.
Horse was last on debut. That was a wide sprint, and then goes to the lead in the route and airs out by the 11-length margin you just saw. All right, so